Hello everyone at Auticon, out there in Germany, Europe and overseas. I'm the founder of Auticon. My name is Dirk. And I'm very happy to be part of this big day, this celebration of the 10th anniversary of Auticon. You all can be very proud of what you have done. Well, I would like to tell you a short story about the foundation of Auticon. Let's go back to 2008. Then my wife and me got the information that our son was diagnosed with the Asperger syndrome. This was it was a big shock for my wife and me. But on the other hand, we knew now exactly what was different with our son. And this was this was really good news for us. 1 year later, we went to a self-help group on the topic autism at work. And well, on this day, 20 Asperger autists had the task to tell their personal, professional story, their career story. And what we heard was quite impressive. Many of them had a graduate from high school, some had a doctorate, but every one of them had a very good professional education. But at the end, it was clear that not a single one of them had a job. And this was really a shock for us, because we knew that this is just because of their problems in social interaction and communication. And at the end, all I could think was, this can't be that people with such a potential can't find a job. And we have to do something. We have to change something. And this was the initial moment for the foundation of Auticon. Now, 10 years later, I couldn't imagine what could happen to Auticon. I see a big company, a star in the field of IT consulting. And I can tell you, I'm very, very proud of all of you, what you have done, what you have achieved in these 10 years. And I would like to thank all employees, general management, and the shareholders. And I know how stressful the times were and what you have all done. And again, I would like to thank you very much. And I would like to say, happy birthday, Auticon. Let's say for the next 10, 50, 20 years, at least. Please stay, make your job, and make it good. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, I'm Isha from the Auticon US team. I've been part of the Auticon family for a few years now. The California team here, we decided to have a pizza party. On the day of the party, I saw a lot of people come together, having conversations, playing games, eating pizza, just in general having a good time. But in the corner, one of my favorite technologists was sitting there eating pizza by himself. I kept my eye out for him and I noticed he was not engaging with anyone and nobody else was engaging with him. So I thought, okay, let me go talk to him and make him feel comfortable. So I walked over and I asked him, how's your day? How's the party? How's the pizza? And to everything he responded with one word, good. So I kept trying and it became very obvious very soon that this conversation was incredibly awkward for him and for me. Finally, he just looked at me and said, Isha, I'm good. And it did take me a little while, but I realized he was actually good and he was enjoying himself being around people, but not actively participating. So this was an incredible learning moment for me, how an autistic individual may like to socialize. And I've carried that throughout my years in Auticon, not making assumptions for an individual and treating each person as an individual. And that's been incredible for me.
trying to find new work during global pandemic is a scary prospect. It's been sort of one hell of a year for me between starting to transition, getting diagnosed with autism and ADHD, and a whole lot of other things. Honestly, like talking with Laura helped kind of set it at ease. It's like having someone that you can just sort of talk to and express these things really help makes it less intimidating to approach in a professional context. My dad's a sort of big wig in the Australian water industry. Would go in to visit him at work, get some job experience in his office, and that was always the image I had of what to work in an office was like, what white collar work was like. I don't know if I could do well in that sort of an environment because I am informal. I'd rather like to be able to focus on the work I'm doing and not is my shirt properly tucked in. So at the end of the day, isn't the objective here to get the work done? So I was again talking about that with Laura, because ADHD, I'm not very good with scheduling. I struggle to make appointments, particularly early in the morning. I've always prided myself that I will get stuff done, and having someone that can kind of translate that in a more positive to people who you're going to be working with but who you've never met is kind of great. So great. Like there's this huge intimidating factor normally talking to people in the office, because at the end of the day we're supposed to have a professional relationship, but I feel comfortable around people I've built a personal relationship with. It's been kind of cool. You managed to make friends with a couple of the other job consultants. Help one of them move to Melbourne.
Hello, my name is Scott, and I started work at Auticon on November 15th, 2020. This is my lovely fiance, Reagan, who I met while I was working there. There's a funny story she'd like to tell you about how we met and how Auticon plays a huge factor in our relationship.
Hi again, I'm Reagan. I met Scott in November of 2020. We have been dating since then. Auticon was the first to know that we were engaged. We announced our engagement at the grand opening in Salt Lake, which was really great. Everyone was really receptive and talked to us about our honeymoon, and it was just a really great experience. I feel like it's a culture that really cares about their employees.
I drove all the way up into the avenues. It's an area of Salt Lake that overlooks the city, and the sun was setting as we were driving up there. I went to a location that a friend told me had a great view, but the trees were in the way, so I had to improvise and even find another spot. Eventually I found one, and before she got out of the car because of my wandering around driving and not telling her where I was going, I finally was able to find a spot that had a good view, and I could get out and propose to her right there on the side of the street.
Well, Auticon searched autistic people, and my wife said I should go there, and there was a psychological test, some other tests too, and the result was I was rejected. My wife thought that's impossible. She said, he's the best person I know. And she asked the reason, and the reason was I was too normal. So she called Dirk Müller-Remus, the founder, and she said, 20 years of my life, I worked hard to get this man social compatible. So it seems like he's a normal person, but he's not. So the result is you reject him because he's too normal. What you see is my work, my hard work. So, and she told Dirk. Told Dirk he would rue the day if he don't hire me, and he hired me, and the rest is history.
Hi everybody, I'm Garth Johnson. I'm the CEO of Auticon Canada. I live in Calgary, Alberta, but we have offices in Toronto, Montreal, and soon to be the West Coast. I had a career in the online world before in business development and marketing for companies like iStock Photo and Fotolia, which is now Adobe Stock Photo. And I worked with a lot of colleagues on the spectrum who were really gifted. And when we sold to Adobe, I really wanted to do something and start a business where we could leverage the unique abilities of people like you guys, to help people build careers and not just have a job. And so along the way, we discovered that, in terms of helping you guys find the right job, the right person to get the right business outcome, we discovered a process that we can use with people who are not able to work for Auticon. They don't have the intellectual capacity to do so. And people like my son, who is 21 on the spectrum, and we did that, and he started his own business this year, also an entrepreneur, called Abilityworks, and he created his first product this year called Fireworks, made from recycled egg cartons, recycled candle wax, dryer lint, gross, and pages of old comic books that we had lying around. And he sold them in local garden markets, made them himself, had another person work with him, and his vision is to help other people on the spectrum like himself or people with diverse abilities achieve employment and careers. And he blew the doors off his goals this year. He netted about $1,000 from his first effort. And now he wants to make a second product this year out of old Funky Rock t-shirts that are basically bags for people to take their produce away from the garden markets in. And that's really why we do this. We're trying to help people not just get a job, but build a career that they have passion for, and take people who haven't had an opportunity to do that and give them one. And so you guys are helping us lead the forefront. And it's not just going to help all the employees of Auticon. It's going to help many, many more people with diverse abilities and on the spectrum around the world achieve that sense of meaning and purpose and inclusion. And that's what it's really all about. So congratulations, everybody, on 10 years. Here's to the next 10 years. Let's do something even better and bigger.
Also ich habe 2012 als Jobcoach in Berlin bei Auticon begonnen. Das war eine sehr aufregende Zeit. Das ist jetzt also fast 10 Jahre her. Und vor 10 Jahren war Auticon eine ganz, ganz andere Firma. Wir waren also 3 Mitarbeiter im Backoffice und 6 Consultants, die 2012 da angefangen haben. Wir waren alle neu, wir hatten keine Ahnung und wir hatten jeder nur einen Tisch, einen Stift und einen Computer. Und mehr war zu dieser Zeit nicht bei Auticon vorhanden. Und wenn ich die 10 Jahre oder die fast 10 Jahre zurückblicke, wie wir uns weiterentwickelt haben, es ist deutschlandweit, sind wir mittlerweile 70 Consultants und weltweit, glaube ich, 200 oder noch mehr. Ich hätte mir nie träumen lassen, dass Auticon mal so groß wird und so schnell wächst und dass es so sehr, sehr, sehr viele Veränderungen gibt. Wir haben in Berlin angefangen mit Testing von Software für 3 Pfennig, glaube ich, pro Minute oder 3 Cent damals pro Minute. Und jetzt haben wir Umsätze in Millionenhöhe und erarbeiten weltweit mit großen Konzernen Projekte. Das finde ich ist eine wahnsinnige Entwicklung. Ich habe bestimmt 400 autistische Menschen kennengelernt und interviewt in den 10 Jahren. Das war sehr aufregend, sehr spannend und ich habe sehr viele tolle autistische Menschen kennengelernt und bin wirklich sehr froh, Teil dieser Entwicklung zu sein. Und ich mag alle meine Consultants in Berlin sehr, sehr gerne. Wir haben tolle Erlebnisse gehabt und sind wirklich ein gutes Team geworden über die vielen Jahre. Auch Martin, wir kennen uns fast 9 Jahre und daraus sind sogar fast Freundschaften entstanden. Und ich bin sehr erstaunt, hätte niemals mir träumen lassen, dass Auticon so schnell wächst und so groß wird und weltweit aktiv wird.
So we are Viola and Tillman, and we got to know Auticon in the early days. I think that's fair to say. Tillman actually joined before me, so he joined Auticon when there was 3 desks in a co-working space.
About 3 desks, very, very little co-working space. When I started, we were about 5 people. It was just a very, very new idea out there in the world. And if you would speak to people, they would ask you, like, first of all, what is autism, or what is the autism spectrum? And And
then actually I joined Auticon as an intern in Berlin in 2014. And then we worked together at the Berlin office for 2 years. And in that time, Tillman sort of ran the back shop of the German organization, and I prepared the launch for our first office in the UK. And I've been with Auticon ever since, until my recent baby break. So we have actually 2 Auticon babies now. And Tillman, before this call, Tillman joked that we should say we called one of them Auti and the other one Con. I think it has reminded me of how important it is to tune in to a person, an adult or a child. That is the most important thing, especially for autistic children, to facilitate a healthy future career path. If they had the feeling that their interests are important and they are being facilitated in their specific interests.
I'm Flora. I work with Auticon for about 6 months in Italy. At the start of the pandemic, I found myself looking for a new job. I was concluding my PhD, and I decided to join a job in a company. But being a 30 years old woman and having experience just in the academic field, I knew that would be tough. And I also discovered that I was autistic, so I thought that I would just face a year of unemployment. While I was looking for an alternative career or just something to do with my life, I found video sponsoring Auticon. My background did not match the job at all, so I was a little bit skeptical at first. But the company seemed great, the job looked interesting, so I thought to just give it a shot. The first thing that really amazed me is that during my interview with Auticon, I really felt as my person was the center of the conversation. It was not just, will you be able to do your job? Yes, no, tell us quickly. But it was more, would you be comfortable with us? Would you think that we can give us something? Would you think that there's something that could help you to do your own job? So yeah, that was really amazing and really made me felt at ease. I work now as a Python programmer. And I think that working alongside with other autistic people helped me to accept my diagnosis and understand my neurodivergency better. And moreover, thanks to the job coach and the project manager, I have now a better vision and the perception of myself as an employee.
Hello. I'm Chris Lieber. 2.5 years ago, I was 47 and had been out of work for 15 months. My career, such as it was, had been characterized by periods of intense work, followed by burnout and depression. I was also beginning my journey to a diagnosis of being on the autistic spectrum. I saw an article in a newspaper about an organization which had launched in Scotland, working specifically with people on the autistic spectrum. They were called Auticon, and they were looking for people to join them. I applied, and was invited for a series of skills assessments so that I could demonstrate the things that I could do to help clients rather than answer random questions not linked to the job I was going to do. No longer would I have to answer obscure questions about the sort of house the letter T would live in. The answer is obviously a penthouse. Here was a company that understood me and could see the benefits I could offer if supported correctly. If I did not get the job with Auticon, I was sure I did not want to go back to other companies. I was accepted and joined Auticon over 2 years ago. Since then, I have worked on 6 projects for 2 clients. This is now the longest continuance period of working I have had since the mid-1990s. That's because I feel supported and have gained a very valuable advocate in the workplace.
I just wanted to say how incredible it is to have witnessed the journey of the organization from being a total startup to the international organization that it is today. And I'm so impressed and amazed and proud, and I feel really lucky to have played a small part in it and to have met the love of my life and my 2 beautiful babies thanks to Auticon as well. And yeah, so excited for the 10th anniversary.
I feel that since working for Auticon is my dream job, I wouldn't have been able to have the confidence to be able to say that I wanted to marry anybody before I was working for them. And so without them, none of this would be possible.
I think that working with Auticon helped me not just as an employee, but also as a person.
Having a place where I can just feel a bit more comfortable being who I am is just damn amazing.
Thank you, Auticon. You're helping me become the best version of me.
As a kid, I learned to cross limits without a limit, day for day and day. I learned to give a shit on body's borders, day for day and day. To make it behave on my orders, or those of others, day for day and day. I feel burned or bothered? Mental restrictions? Just fictions. Come on, others can do. You can too. I cannot, wasn't bought. My perception, just deception. All time, anytime. But this time, I got a gift. Like a shift found in a crack of space-time. A company, and more, a companion. They accepted me, how I am and how I like to be. They helped me not to be my own enemy. And guess what? Suddenly, I start to relax. Feel as overstrained as they are trained in acting with autists. Damn, they even understand and believe me. Can you stand that? I know it's hard, but for the start, I really enjoy.